Let's do it. It's time for game number 1 of the day. Let's head over to Sims and Pansy for all of the action.
All right, so I can't help but think instantly how we ended yesterday's games. It was crazy, it was wild. We're coming to a fresh day, fresh start, different map, new look. But I'm just hoping we see more wild and wonderful things, because that was just unbelievable the way that whole game ended. But Rich, what are you looking at today?
Without question, El Giganton. There's to think who's on this roster, and the fact that it's sitting all the way down at the bottom with a mere 10 points, even to go crashing out in the final match in 16th with 1 kill, like, you kind of want to try and round off the day in a positive kind of way. They didn't. Everything went bad. Everything went to cock, and I want to see a full reset. I want to see a full turn, 360, and see what these guys can do. I mean, it's kind of scary to think when you 10 points, 10 frags throughout 6 games. There was once upon a time when Gaxi was picking that up in a game himself, back on NIP.
Very true.
With just some big things from him. So it's absolutely not of what this roster can perform. Hence is really another one still down at the bottom. We were saying there was a lot of pressure on them. We've given them a lot of grief, and rightfully so. Been invited to all these different events and such, and yeah, 18 points. All right, it's 7 points above Elgig, but it's still down at the bottom. So it was day 1. We do have 3, but today, if you don't really turn up, you're putting yourself in a very, very nasty predicament for tomorrow. Tell you what, they had a banging game yesterday, right?
Yeah, they did. They were fantastic. They've been, again, a team that certainly deserves to be within that top 4 currently. TSM going to spot out El Giganton, and that is a poor loss to start with. One of the first players potentially to go down, and this nade could seal it, really. This is not the start El Giganton needed or wanted.
No, most certainly not. Pulling up to this cliff has not paid off at all, especially with Miraku been on an off-angle situation. I believe this is the compound we were fighting for yesterday at the end of the final match where you run off the back of it. Second one will fall. Miraku angles is paying off currently. Ira's also overstepping the boundaries, maybe to try and deny the reses here. There's no idea that there's 2 solos bleeding out. There's a third one as well. They'll try and make a recovery on this, but if this is a 16th to open the game with no frags after getting a 16th to close the game yesterday, like, there is a very real potential here that's Elgig's competition done. Like, I know there's a lot of games still to play, but the tilt factor is going to swing in. The points and the amount of games still left to play while other people are getting points about you are going to play a factor. I am very concerned. I am very, very concerned about this roster so far.
Yeah, I'd love to hear the desk's thoughts on what's been going right and going wrong, obviously, more often than not for ELG, because they're dead in the water here. They've got nowhere to go. This compound, yes, they came in late, but then you look at someone like NAVI, Adepts, they're coming in late, and they're perfectly fine. They probably won't overstep the bounds too much. So I do want to know what the balance people think is, going wrong for El Giganton. In theory, we can take a stab at it, but right now it's Gaxi left with nades raining in. That one's going to do it. 16th place, no kills. It's an unpleasant sight.
Bullets are ringing in the distance. Jimmy's position's certainly been noted. You can see he's already taken some damage. Perfect weapon for the breach, should it come through. Uber down, but certainly not out. Is forced to stick the heel. Omicron in the distance. Oh, the Deep's actually just taking a bullet from Mexi. That's from one of the compounds further on where Liquid are in the split. They're still doing the same scenario that we said is kind of sketchy at times, but they just know how to do it, and then you have to make it work. They're in a 2-1-1 currently.
I mean, I'd agree with you. But if it's FaZe who are now pressuring you, and they see that these kills are coming in from a position other than the one they're fighting, if they know it's Liquid, they could be in danger. That's an overstep from Uber, maybe trying to pressure, as imagined, towards potentially Jeems, who's on his own. But that's a really nice pickup, a good counterplay for Liquid there. Going to easily stem and hold back FaZe's progression now.
Wisteria's actually got a fair few teams in as well. Tornado Energy's still outside.
Iroh's shot was just nuts, by the way. Like, if we could watch that back, that was so crisp. Like, and speaking of TSM as well, he's a player who needs to perform. He was very, very quiet yesterday, and this is a much better look for TSM. 5 kills already, now 6. Yes, they're doing okay. They're in, what, 6th place, just under FaZe? But you saw they were having some trouble on rotation, you know. Iro went outside to calm down for a bit. If he's coming in hot today, he's putting his, warm-up time. He's feeling out the game fired up. That's a really good look.
Yeah, they'll stay stationary, hold them down, wait to see if anyone crashes, but I won't expect anyone to be that stupid. Not for this level of PUBG and not for this late in the game currently. A lot of them have to run the dungeon gauntlet, try and find the final boss, who that will be. Sure, we'll see in the kill feed. Tempest up, looking for a home. Gustav falls onto double. Happy birthday, thank you very much. He's down. Hawkeye and Tab open up onto Tempest though. Multiple casualties on the roster as it tries to get inside the shack. I'm not entirely sure if the players are in there and fully resable. I think they are. Rustam Map at distance. This is the fight that's about to unfold next. Tornado Energy. They've got to be careful though. They've got Ents in the front and better luck next time in the back. They're splitting their resources to deal with this. But that could be also deadly, especially when you lose Example. He was the one to hold this line and hold this fight. Now better luck next time can make an advancement on this. If they press them from the back, we may see Tornado going out earlier than what they anticipated. Because that was a decent ridgeline they were holding, but it's just so exposed when there's two teams at complete polar opposites of each other.
Yeah, this could be something to look out for, but the name that I can't get away from that's in the kill feed constantly is TSM. Iro again, getting the flush there. I want to really keep a note on how TSM come into today. They look fired up, and that to me is a very exciting prospect. But for now, Fate has to try and deal with his Quizzy just over the ridge. Nade comes through, doesn't land. So for now, they're holding territory, but it's very fine lines here because Omicron, when they come into this now, is another angle that Tornado Energy simply have to deal with. And Vazku! Oh, up and over. Say goodbye to your head, just decapitated. Ents down 2 players.
The nicest man in the lobby gets run over. F. Big F for Squeaky. That's a way to certainly exit the game. Oh well. I would say better luck next time. Fate might actually be getting that because he's got 2 players bearing down upon him. Quizzy and Alia, again, these 2 fights they've been taken. One team's been removed, and now they've got a bit of a safety net and get this final play, which they can. This gives them some breathing room. Maybe go loot the bodies, get what you need, change out the vest or the helmet. Raise your edge on the rump, trying to find someone. TSM, you mentioned, kill feed, still going. Gustav onto T-Bone as well, so Omakan's position has now been given away. I can actually see Fuzzface is trying to take a different angle of approach, maybe get some height on them, throw an aid or 2 over there. If they get a second knock, they could bear down upon that, remove them from that position, and take the southern side of this circle. Aitzi and Gustav also going all the way up against the white will give them an eye line onto Tornado Energy. TSM, now they have work to do. They're still getting people in the kill feed, but they do have 2 teams, 3 if you're including Furax, to get inside this circle. This will not be a very easy entry at all. This is going to be a very difficult run for TSM.
I want to watch it though. If if they're taking fights now, I'm not going to put it past them to complete this. Now, Omicron had a pretty clean approach to this position, but now you're going to see the fight back. Tornado Energy are down to just 2 players though, so the trades feel like they're inevitably going to go favorably to Omicron unless FaZe gets involved, because Fuzzface isn't far off this with an SKS in hand and looking this way. This could be the points they need to jump back over TSM if FaZe get involved, but for now, Quizzy, it's a matter of life or death. Trying to utilize the low ground to try and maybe work a way around here toward Page, but it's actually T-Bone right there beside him. Nade's coming back through. And Quizzy, wide peek around the bush, does not do what he wanted. Page finds him first. Iro again in the kill feed. Now just Alia. Now, yes, Tornado Energy were very good yesterday, but today this does not look like quite the same start that they would have wanted to carry on yesterday's performance. But there's Fuzzface. We said this could be happening. This could be a factor. He obviously doesn't want to overstay his welcome here. They've got to think about their own game plan, but for now they can pin back a great deal of players as TSM are about to clash with Redline while they're spotting up Red Zone. So Vard's already fallen towards that as Aliag still trying to work a way forward. He did get Page, which was the kind of lowest ground player, but they know T-Bone was close by. There was 2 players down on that low ground. Now Iro about to push towards one of the Redline players. Nice little sweep there. That's working out well. FaZe still stealing away these points. So even though the Tornado Energy are here, they can't even get the benefit to this fight.
Both sides, everything that we kind of expected to unfold is happening. FaZe Clan are the ones that really benefit from Tornado going into the back of Omicron. As long as they do it cleanly and find where this final player is. Vaz tries to jump in the vehicle. I respect it. The last stand inside the back of the Mirado, but it doesn't pay off this time. The ones that have paid off is by taking the fight up against Redline. It's TSM. to get across this open embankment, remove this, and leave one player
Tag.
without actually dropping anybody. They dropped someone else earlier on. I don't think it was from this man. I could be completely wrong, and please apologies if I am. Up and over we go, and out of the lobby Ivis goes. So that's a damn good job. I didn't quite see on the screen, but they are doing impeccable. I mean, they shouldn't have been allowed to get that cross, to be honest with you, Lauren. I'm surprised Redline didn't push up against onto the white to deny them entry.
They've got freaking 13 kills and they're still going. Like, you know, when we saw it early on and they're like at 5 kills, like, oh, that's quite good. 13!
FaZe, next obstacle in the way, EIQ, and we know that these guys can fight. We know they get very, very aggro, especially for some very unexpected players, and it's caught a few of them off guard. First one to hit the deck. This could be the go sign for the rest of EIQ. The follow-ups there with the shots. AUG, it hurts. Second one falls. Aitsip comes down to one man now. Information been fed back to Gustav. Flashbangs are out. Will he disconnect or will he take this fight? Probably try and stand his ground. Unfortunately can't. The second he's on his feet, Novik says no, thank you very much. EIQ claims some points. They sweep, they clear. And more importantly, they take control of this ridge line. The next problem that might be in their way, which I think is going to be a really good play here from TSM. That should be a 15th kill easy. But they are looping all the way down to the south. So they are the next trouble that EIQ may find. If they come over the hillside, they may have just copped for them. We'll hold for now because Tempest, it's the battle of the Yellow Brothers. Navi going up against Tempest. Pixel down, dead. Tommel also falling. Wookie, though, on an answer back, Lauren. This is pretty decent. Clip's the last man standing, though. It's getting very difficult.
This is excellent from Navi. They've lost out on Besto, but they're the ones engaging here, right? You got to look at it that way. They're taking the fight, and to be fair to Tempest, they did not hold the ground that they had. It's hard to hold that, though. Now, TSM, the problem is that Liquid could see them. You got EIQ that can see them, and they were down to 3 already. So, but you look at the points they've garnered. They're already up to 4th position. They've just jumped FaZe and Tornado Energy, who have both gone down already in this. So, if anything, they just caught up to the top pack. It's brilliant play. They've just jumped to 3rd place. Now, obviously, Team Liquid is still in this, and Northern Lights, so it'll probably shuffle them back down to maybe 4th or something around that marker. But for one game, to jump as they've just done against the big guys, very, very well done. Incredibly respectable play. Now, let's look at what we have here, because we've got a lot of heavily stacked squads still in this, and you don't normally see this many 4-man squads. Navi with 4, Northern Lights with 4, Liquid with 4. And EIQ, they're down to 3. Now, they just had a player knock. They're probably the next on the chopping block here, with all the attention being drawn their way, and they've got the least amount of cover to play with. K-Mine's going to be playing with his food, going to take down Reggie finally here. You can see Northern Lights trying to capitalize on this, but there's already someone watching that. There's no easy frags in this. Liquid won it. Northern Lights won it. EIQ, if they could get some, sure, why wouldn't you? But while all this happens, Northern Lights are positioning themselves to maybe gatekeep Liquid out. Now, Double's gone down, so it's down to 3. All these remaining players and teams, 4 alive. That's a big, big battle. Now, the Blue's going to be on Na'Vi. They're in danger. They're hurting in the Blue. And honestly, considering this is a big battle for the top, they might not want to give these points over to these teams. So Na'Vi's starting to work their way up. They've actually made it to a little bit of a lip on that hillside. They are in the circle, so if they can hit the deck, this is not necessarily a bad spot. But they have to be aware that some of Liquid definitely have line of sight, but Besto is aware. That's perfect. Just force him off the peak. You don't need to put all of your investment towards it, all of your bullets, all of your attention, but just keep him away. Buy yourself a second or two to allow this sort of play to happen. James now working his way around. Mexi's found Spyro. This could be a really nice springboard into this momentum against Northern Lights. Molly's going down. Batulin's are deep. Perfectix, they're all there. Smoke goes up, and while this happens, Na'Vi gets a respite. They get to calm down, control themselves. Deep's nade come back in, and it flushes Jeans. Liquid didn't realize he was creeping up towards them. Now there's a threat right at the gate, and they're down to 3 players to control it.
May have been a little bit unfortunate where they looked towards Na'Vi a bit too much. Putting 2 of them on there has allowed all 4 players to get up close and personal towards the hill. AWM finally comes into play. It does some damage. K-Mine's there to hold the line. Mexi is overstepping the boundaries, though, a little bit too much.
What have you done?
Gets shot from the back lines. That's rather unfortunate. Ibby, I don't think you can get that res, my friend. If you go out, they're going to be able to see you on the angle. There could be a smoke if they have any. He does. He has 5 smokes. In fact, they haven't put this down. There's not enough time. They're running up the hill. This aggression is pretty insane. Like, from both sides of it, I mean, there's a couple of questions that could be asked, and I'll leave that one to the analyst desk. But Navi's survivability in this, how they've made it from the shack, is just unbelievable.
Here we go. We got to get hype about this moment because Besto's right at the foot of the hill. There might be a res. Good flash from Besto. K-Mine's in all kinds of trouble here. Now, Northern Lights have kind of paused from the fight for a second. Maybe seeing if Navi's going to do the work for them, but they're kind of stuck on this hillside. Look at the amount of smokes up right now. Limited information everywhere. K-Mine and Ibby are now bunged up. They're just like right next to each other. Not trying to get individually killed, but for now, Na'Vi are popping up, and Besto is one of them. Ibby goes down.
Oh
Besto is
my
on
God.
6 kills, and now it's Na'Vi with 3 players against Northern Lights with only 2. Besto is on a tear right now. This guy is ready to fight, and he's going to get some more. It's Kevin to get the frag and out Batulins. Your last one alive. Na'Vi had no right to win that, and they just pull it out of the bag. So well done by Na'Vi. That's a performance that I wanted to see.
All my life I want money and power, respect my mind, no die from last time. I pray my dick get big as the Apple time, so I can fuck the world for 72 hours.